are some difficulties that communities have that come and go. They don't get to be too serious, and they can be resolved relatively easily and quickly. Some of them may even break out into violent conflict, and yet it's possible to get beyond it with a bit of negotiation. But there are other conflicts that really seem to be very difficult to deal with. The conflict goes on not just for years, but sometimes for generations. It doesn't mean that there's violence all the time. The violence tends to come and go in these conflicts, but the underlying conflict is always there, and no matter what people have done to resolve it, it doesn't seem to have been susceptible to resolution.
And when we say intractable, we're really talking about conflicts that are hard to resolve. Although, often I think it's not so much that conflicts are hard to resolve, but it's hard to see how to resolve them.
Israeli-Palestinian issue, the Sunni-Shiite conflict, these are all the reflections of power struggles, but the motivations always come from our collective backgrounds, histories, and our narratives, our stories. We carry them through generations.
In the world, as we know, and it's not just the Middle East, but certainly where I come from in Southeast Asia, there are certain conflicts between various parties driven by religious factors, well, religious extremism actually, even ethnic factors. They can be considered as relatively intractable, very hard to arrive at a mutually agreed upon solution.
I think the key to preventing and resolving intractable conflicts is to figure out what the deep motivations are that are driving the conflict in the first place.
To go and meet with the people who were involved in conflict, try to listen to them and understand what they thought about why they were involved in conflict, why they were prepared to commit themselves to the point of sacrificing their own lives, their security, the lives of their families. What sort of extraordinary commitment was that?
We came up with the idea of forming an organisation, CRIC, that would use evidence like we've been gathering in Libya and other places as a way of developing tools that would be useful to policymakers. And that was the core idea.
We could try to better understand what was happening in terms of what had happened in the past and what was new and what we might be able to do about it.
To bring together a group of people working right across the world in all sorts of different circumstances, but with certain kinds of approaches and commitments to the understanding of radicalization and terrorism. And indeed, before long, we were looking at fundamentalism as well, because that was obviously a part of the whole picture.
CRIC is, I can say, the home of all of us that we share. Although we have other places to reside, it is the focus and it is our umbrella to come together and discuss everything that we are learning from other countries and societies.